All right, so let's take a look at Module 13b, learning how to deal with two-way tables. So they give us an example here, and the problem with the example is that they give you too much information in the table to start with. So I'm actually going to white out that for right now, and I think that and that. All right. So that will help us a little bit just with understanding this. So when you come up to a two-way, to a two-way table on your assignment, you are going to have things that are not filled in, and so it's going to be really, really important that you know how to fill them in. So let's start with this example that they have down here. By the way, a two-way table is just a way of organizing information, so it's easy to find things. In the future, you might use something called a spreadsheet to do some of this work in other classes or when you get to your job, stuff like that. All right, so important information. There are 150 children at the summer camp. All right, so that's total. They're going to break them down into swimming and no swimming, and canoeing and no canoeing. But there are some things we can add to this table that are going to help us. So I'm going to actually extend those columns and extend these rows to help us. So that total is actually going to go down here. This little box at the bottom right corner is going to be our grand total box. And so we can even add, if you wanted to, the idea of total. All right, so 150 total children. That kind of helps, but doesn't quite get me there. It says, let's see what else, other information we have. 71 signed up for swimming. Sweet. So this box down here is the total number of swimming individuals. It says there's a total of 62 that signed up for canoeing, so there's 62. And then 20 of them, 8 of those who signed up for canoeing also signed up for swimming. All right, so there's my 28 that are both canoeing and swimming. All right, so now I'm going to do just a little bit of math to figure out some of these things. So let's start with our totals. I know that I have a total of 150 campers. 62 of them were in the canoeing category. So if I do some subtraction, I should get that 88 of them were not canoeing. All right, so that was 150 minus 62 is how I got that. All right, and then over here, I need to do 150 minus 71, and so that's going to end up with 79 for that one, for the no swimming. All right, so now I kind of have some totals to work with. Now I'm going to do this more on a category basis. So I know I have 62 total canoeing people. I am going to subtract 28 from 62. That's going to give me 34 that are not that canoe but don't swim. And then do a little bit of more subtraction over here. I have 28 out of my 71 that are swimmers but also canoers. So if I do some subtraction, I should end up with 43 as the number who are canoeing or who don't canoe and swim. And then last, and I can find this answer lots of different ways, I need to subtract either 34 from 79 or 43 from 88. Lots of different ways to find that 45. But you have to basically do some subtraction to figure that out. All right, so it's going to be really important that you kind of understand. You have kind of like a totals section, all right, and then you have the individual component section. And then usually there's going to be some questions that they ask about this. So they say, what is the probability for question 1 that a camper is chosen at random and is not signed up for canoeing? Okay, well, not canoeing out of all the campers is going to be 88 out of 150. All right, now we could reduce that fraction. That would be 44 out of 75 if I divide by 2. But they may also even have you do the decimal for that, and the probability. So let me, I thought I had my calculator there. All right, so let's figure that out real quick. Sorry, I hit it. There it is. All right, so we said 44 out of 75. All right, so 0.58, and kind of depends on where you round, but maybe it's 0.59 or 0.587. Those would probably be appropriate responses in decimal form. Probability that a camper chosen at random is signed up for canoeing or swimming. All right, well, canoeing or swimming is a big deal. So that would be those that are signed up for canoeing. That's 62 students. Also, those that are swimming, that would be 71. But we have to be careful because 28 of the canoers are also swimmers or vice versa, and so we're accidentally counting them twice. So there's ways around that. Either you get the total of 71 plus 62, and then you just take away 28. Or you do choose one of them, like canoeing, take the 62 plus the others that also swim but were not included, so plus the 43. Either way, you should get 105, and that's out of the 150. And then we can reduce that fraction by dividing by 5, so that's going to be 21 out of 30. And I could divide by 3, and that would be 7 out of 10, which is 0.7 as a decimal. All right, so one of those two is going to be the correct answer for that one. And then let's go ahead and use another different color just so we can keep things straight. What's the probability the camper chosen at random is signed up for swimming? All right, so swimming is just these people. And so that would be 71 out of 150. And 71 is a prime number, so that's as good as you're going to get there as far as the fraction. If it needs a decimal, then we do 71 divided by 150, and we get 0.473. All right, there we go. Okay, so in example 2, they give us a table that has a lot of stuff filled in. They don't have the totals though, so we're going to go ahead and add in those totals. That did not help, did it? I know I can do this. There we go. Cool. All right, so let's see. This total is going to be 97. This total is going to be 41. That means my grand total is 138. Over here, let's see, 73 and 26 is 99, and 24 and 15 is 39. Perfect. Okay, so now I'm going to use that information to find some probabilities. So let's start with probability that a shopper is chosen at random just came in and then left. Okay, meaning that they did not purchase anything. All right. So let's see. They made a purchase or no purchase, and so that's 41 out of the total 138. All right, I'm pretty sure 41 doesn't go into 138 evenly, and I know 41 is a prime number. So just stop there or get the decimal, which is 0.297. Okay, so either of those would work. And then probability that a shopper chosen at random made a purchase or returned something. Okay, so made a purchase is those two, or the total of 97. And it says or returned something. So remember, returned is these ones, but we don't want to count the 24 twice. So we just need to include all three of those numbers. I should have done that in red, just so we had a different color. All right, so those ones plus these ones, we have an overlap. So we're just going to do 73 and 24, which is 97, plus another 15 is going to be 112. So I did 97 plus 15 equals 112. And that 112 is out of the total 138. I know we can divide each of those by 2 at the very least. So that's going to be 56 over, what is that, 79. And that's probably as good as we're going to get. Not 79. 69. Yeah, 69 plus 69 is 138. And that's probably as good as we're going to get as far as a fraction. And then 56 divided by 69 is 0.811. 0.812 if we're rounding correctly. 0.812 would be the decimal version of that. Okay, good. So I hope that made sense. If it didn't, you can go back and just kind of watch the video more slowly. But if you're good, go ahead and try out some problems and see what happens.